Hello and welcome to the stream. And we will be continuing from the previous stream and work on the tool. There are some changes I made off stream, but they are not really anything big. I just changed this GitHub icon from black to white, and that is pretty much it. And in today's stream, I have actually decided to one thing that I'm gonna try to take my time when I'm speaking so I can improve actually my communication skill and my speaking skills, English speaking skill, you can say. And yeah, hopefully I can work on it and as well while I'm working on my tool. Well, the whole point of streaming is to actually build confidence on screen. I'm just gonna quit few things and then we will get started. So let's start. We finished the tool. Oh, we did not finish. So when I finished the last stream, I was working on this tool and we are almost complete, right? The tool is almost completed. So if I can do a test right here, my fingers are really cold by the way, so I can't really type quickly. I'm just gonna type a few words and then I'm gonna let the timer end and I will make some mistakes to check if the accuracy is working. Okay, so now I will let it run and see what are the results. Okay, so we have results here and these are actually correct. I have verified them again and again off stream. And there are a few things that I'm going to do. This will be a short stream and things, these are the, like, initially this was my to-do list. So the first thing is, this is the feedback I got from my friend, and on reload the settings reset. So if you can see, if we set a filter and we reload, settings reset. So one of the things that we need to fix is, I'll retype it, save filters in local storage. And then there are a few errors like, keep look at the words actually, right? So if I hit punctuation and then I start typing, let me try again. I hit on punctuation and then I start typing again. I punctuation and I start typing, right? EVEN, and now I'm gonna hit space, right? So you can see the words changed. So let me explain what happened, right? These are buttons, and as you know, you can trigger the buttons on space and enter keys, right? And my focus is still on the button, on this punctuation button. Let me show you. This is a button, right? So the focus of the browser is still on the button. So when I type space, it hits the punctuation and the words change. And in order to fix it, what we need to do is, well, we'll discuss that later, but let's retype it. Fix clicking on buttons after the timer starts. Okay, another thing is, if the test starts and imagine the user has a really good typing speed, right? And they start typing, so they start typing and they reach to the end, right, of here. The thing is, if there is still time left, the timer keeps on going, right? But there's no more words to type. So one more thing that we need to fix it, we need to add more words, and we need to add more words when user reaches end, right? Or something similar, or we can, or when starting we can add more buttons, right? Like a lot of buttons more than necessary, and we can just scroll the div through JavaScript and it will work. That will work too, right? And add enough words, right? Then there are a few things that I typed when I was checking the tool. The first thing is add a restart button. So that's pretty simple. Add a restruct. Oh, so sorry. So we need to restructure code, right? I will move it down and let's make it 6 because this is the thing I want to do at the end, right? And let's make it 5. And we will be adding a logo too. And 7 is add a theme changer. So I'll move that. So today's stream gonna be shorter than the previous stream, which was 8 hours, and today's stream will be like 2 to the maximum 3 hours. And there are only few functions that I want to add. One of them is add a logo. All right. Then I want to add this function, add a theme changer, right? Okay, this is does not belong here. And then there is one more thing that I want to do, and that will be saving filters in the local storage, right? So I think let's start. And let me check my stream. I want to make sure it's working properly. Okay, this is does not belong here. And then there is one more thing that I want. Okay, so there is no problem in our stream. Okay, so there is. Okay, sorry for the pause there. And let's get started, right? First thing, okay, let's start with the easier things, which is adding a logo, right? And let's do that. So for the logo, I have this SVG. I got this off stream, right? And gonna cut it. Let's go to our HTML file. Right here, okay, not right here. This is our logo, H1 class. And let's add SVG right before it. Let's see how it looks. Okay, that is way too big. And I want it to be actually, I want the direction, I want to stack them next to each other, not on top of each other. So how do we do that? We will make this the href wrapping them a flex. And I think that will work. What happened? Our SVG disappeared for some reason. Okay, it is there. I think we need to give it width and height. Okay, let's do it. Let's add a class of width 50 pixels. Okay, now it's appearing. It's visible now. And let's add a margin right of half rem, or let's make it 1 rem. Okay, this is too much. Okay, this is better. And I want to make this text a little smaller, and we can do that here on text. 4 XL it is right now. No, I think 2 XL is fine, or maybe let's make it 3 XL. Okay, this is good. And I want it in the middle of the div, the text. We can do that by align center, I believe. Align middle, sorry. Okay, let me try again. Items center, maybe. Okay, it was align item center. So the property for that is items center, right? So we can see here item center, and let's see. Let's check it on mobile too. Okay, it looks good on mobile too. And the next thing that we need to do is the next thing we need to do is store these filters in the local storage. And how do we do that? So let's look up the local storage API of JavaScript, and let's go to our code, and we will look the code which edits the filter to the filter object, and right there we will update local storage as well. Okay, so we can do local storage set item my cat, and but we want to add the filter object. Okay, storage of cat item set item. Okay, let's see here. Let's add for some demo purposes for just to see how this works. Let's say we'll do local storage set item, and after updating the filters object, we will just add the filters object. We will pass filters object to the local storage to set item method, and see the application and local storage. There is nothing here. And why is that? Okay, we have not clicked any filter actually. So let's hit 30 or 60. Nothing happened, which is weird. Okay, let's pass it a string and see what happens. I guess we are doing something wrong here. Okay, let's look up some other guide for this. Okay, okay, last name Smith. Okay, we need to pass a key value pair. So we need to pass a key value pair. Let's set filters to be filters. This will be a string. Okay, nothing is happening. Okay, here we have our object filters, and I think it got converted to object. I think we can only add JSON objects in the local storage. So let's confirm it. Object in local storage. Okay, so I think I was correct. So we need to use the JSON or stringify object method and convert the object to a JSON string, JSON or into JSON format. Okay, let's see now. Yep, something it doesn't work on time, which is weird. Okay, so for time we are using a different function, which is right here. And let's just do this. Okay, let's see now. Punctuation time. Let me reload, and now I'm gonna add a time to be 60. It works. 60, 30. Punctuation should be true now. Okay, let me bring this up a little. Maybe you can't see it on stream. So here we have our object, and let's check. Let's click on 60 and then punctuation and then numbers. It's working properly. And one thing that we need to do. One thing that we still need to do is when on initial load, on initial page load, for example, if user, let me delete it. And now if I reload the page, there is no filters object, right? And there is no filters object, so we need to add it in the initial page load too. And we can do that. Actually, so here there are few other functions too that I'm running on when on the initial page load. And I think we should add an object, sorry, add an event listener for that and move them all inside that. So right here, let's get it and let's move it at the bottom of the page. And let's add an event on document on load. And we will run this function. And we will change this to render the UI, render the UI on fast page load. Okay, then I have another function. This is a window resize event, and it updates the cursor, and it is for what is happening. The function did not run. Document. Let me see what is going on. Document.onload. Let's see. Document.onload. So let me look at the Mozilla. So the load event is fired when the whole page is loaded, including all dependent resources such as the style sheet, scripts, iframes, and images. So I think we need to use the DOM load content. I want to see if there is the on DOM content loaded syntax for this. Is this in even a function? This is not even running for some reason. I don't have any clue. Could be something related to. Okay, let's do a document that I had event listener and DOM content loaded. Maybe it will work now. Okay, I have no clue what was going on here, there, and but apparently it's working now, so we can continue to. And what else is there we need to do? So let's see. Yeah, we need to update the local storage on the initial load, and we can just do that by setting filters to be json.stringify. Let's check our object. Okay, so another problem. So the problem right now is that we are only setting state, we are not reading it. So if we are only setting it, there is no point in just setting it, right? And let's look at the application. Maybe you guys can understand. So the initial state is basically this, right? Numbers false, punctuation false, and time is 30 seconds, as you can see on the screen here. So if I set punctuation, right, and now punctuation is true, and if I reload, it is set to false again. Why? Because we are setting the state to initial state of the program every time we reload the page. And to prevent that, we need to actually, on the page load, we first want to read the state, and we can do that by, let's make an object, filters local storage, and get local storage dot get item. Let's see what it returns. I will disable this code for now. I'm going to set punctuation to on, and then I'm going to reload. Okay, filter local storage is not defined. It returns null for some reason. Sorry, lol, it was filters, not item. And we get our JSON object, right? We need to convert the JSON object to, sorry, not like this. We need to convert it. We can do that right like this. Okay, one thing I'm gonna try to see is if our local storage has nothing, right? And then we reload it, what does it returns? So console log filters local storage, it returns null. Okay, this is okay. So let's convert the JSON object to a JavaScript object, and we can do that by JSON dot. Okay, I don't know the function. Let's look it up. JSON JavaScript, and we can do that by So converting between objects and text, it is dot parse. So let's do that, and we will pass it the object filters local storage, and then we will copy. Okay, I'm not sure if, okay, it doesn't update the variable, right? It only, okay, let's look at it for now. I'm pretty sure it doesn't update the variable and instead just returns the value. And yep, it doesn't update the variable. That is okay. Local storage is gonna be json.parse, and assignment to constant variable. Okay, now we have an object that we can work with. So now there is one condition that we need to watch for, and that is that if there is already something inside our local storage object, if there is already inside our local storage object, when the page reloads, we want to read that state, right? And we read that. Okay, my bad. So if there is nothing inside the local storage, there is no filters inside the local storage, then we will be adding it into the local storage on initial page load. And we can do that by checking if filters, if local storage dot get item, if so, if it returns null, that means there is nothing, and we can add the our initial filters inside. And if there is something, then we just add an else statement and update this, and instead we read the state. And instead of doing this, we can do something like this. Is our global variable which contains the filters object, and we can do this json dot parse local storage dot get item filters, right? And hopefully this will work. Let's log the filters object here. So let's delete it, right? Let's go back to initial state. And now if our page loads and there is nothing inside our local storage, we should be adding our state to the local storage, but it's not adding the state for some reason, which is very weird. It's not adding on our initial page load. So if local storage dot get items filter, okay, let's log this. Let's check if it is even working. Okay, so assignment to constant variable. Okay, let's make the filters object to be let variable, because we need to modify it. And let's see. Okay, it's not working. However, this condition is not getting through. Sorry, I messed this up actually. So this is gonna return null, right? And so this will not execute. We need to move the conditions like this. and now it will work. Let's add a comment. If filters exist already, update program filters to be the one as local storage, right? And if no filters in local storage, then add programs current filters to local storage. Let's see now. I'm going to delete this, and now our expected outcome should be that our initial state of the program, which is time 30-second, punctuation false and numbers false, gets added to the local storage on first load. Okay, let's reload, and it is there, and we can log it, and right here time is 30 and everything else false. Now update the state 60, and let's see now. We reload the page. Now it is 60, so our state is working properly. What else is that we need to do now? That will be to re-render these with the selected filters, right? And we can do that like this. On initial page load, let's make it its own function. Function add filters, not add filters. Let's call it handle filters persist, and let's move this inside our function. And what is that we need to do now? We need to read the state filter and update our components on the UI according to the our filters object. We can do that by saying let's get the attributes. Sorry, yes, let's select them inside our program. Let's say time filters and document.query selector all, because there are two of them, and we will select them through this data attribute we added to them, data filter time. Okay, how do we do this? Let's see the class we add to them. So the class we add is active tool button, right? And we just need to toggle this class. Okay, now let's select both of these filters. I think they are data filters punctuation and okay, I'm doing this the wrong way. We can just say filters UI, and let's select all the filters with class tool set button. I believe it's tool button, sorry, tool, and it's btn, not button. Okay, now we can loop over them. Filters UI dot for each, and we can call it a filter. Now we need to look for the, we need to compare the values, and we can do that by saying if, okay, let's look at how we are adding the values in them. It's data time, and we can't handle all of them like this. Okay, we can actually, we can just get the value here, this value and remove the numbers and get the integers. So let's do that. So const value is filter UI value is gonna be filter dot inner text, and we need to remove the numbers. Let's see how we can do that in JavaScript. Remove num from string. I think okay, we need to use a regex, and I don't know regex actually. So I'm just gonna copy this because I don't know how they work. And we will also okay, let's see. Filters dot inner text dot replace and I think this will work. Let's log it. Filter UI value and it didn't. Okay, we need to run the function. Okay, did not work. Document key selector all tool button should work. So the function is definitely called, but our class is wrong. We need to add dot here. I have made this similar mistake like many times today. So this is wrong. We can't do it this way, right? So we will need to do the time filter separate and other filters separately. And let's name them number filters, time filters, sorry. And we can get them through data time attribute, I believe. Data filter time. Okay, now we have the time filters. Now let's grab the punctuation filter. Punctuation and get that element. We can get that by saying data filter is punctuation. And we can get a number filter by saying doing the same thing but different selector. Data filter number. Let me check if it is plural or singular numbers. It's numbers. And this will do, I guess. Now let's loop through time filters. And we can get the value through the data attribute, which is added on this filters, which is data time. And let's get that. Let's name it value, and it will be filter.dataset.time. Let's compare them with the let's no, we don't need to compare it actually, we just wait. Okay, so we need to do if filters dot time is equal to sorry is equal to value, then we will update the remove toggle the class by saying filter dot class list dot toggle. The class we need to toggle is active tool button, and we need to run the same condition for other two filters. We will do that by saying punctuation filter dot inner text, and okay, so these are not, we can't compare them. We just need to check if filters dot punctuation is true. Let's make it an explicit condition. If it is true, then we toggle the class, right? And we will do that by saying punctuation filter dot class list dot toggle. And similar thing for numbers, filter dot numbers instead, and number filter. Okay, let's see. Okay, one thing that we need to do with the time filter is that if the condition, so we're looping on both of these, and so the program goes like is filters dot time is equal to the value stored inside this time. Okay, it is not, skip it. If filters dot time is equal to the value stored in this component, if it is, add toggle the class. But our initial state is different, we have added a class to the 30-second, right? So we can say, we can add an else here and say the same thing. Actually, we don't even need the else. Okay, I messed up the, okay, let's see now. I have a syntax error here. Should be correct. Filters dot class list dot toggle. This code is actually wrong. What I actually need to do here is, so let's recall what we need to do. We need to see what the values inside filters dot time, and then we need to update the classes on these components accordingly. Let's see. So Okay, it's working now, and let's delete it. So it's not working actually. So filters dot class list dot toggle. Okay, this is wrong. So we need to check if filters dot time is equal to the value, then toggle the class. Otherwise, don't. It's not working. Let's set 60 and reload. What is going on here? So the time is 60, the 30 should not be toggled, right? I think that is because I'm initially setting the class to be to the 30. Yeah, I'm doing that. Let's see now. So just delete. Okay, now it's working perfectly. So let's delete it. So imagine the now that the page I'm going to load is the initial state, and that will be 30-second on and everything else off. And if you look at the object here, time is 30 and everything else is off. Now if I make it 60, the state in the local storage updates as well. So does the punctuation and numbers, and if we reload it, okay, it works. Fine. And maybe instead of this reload button, we can make it reset actually. And how will we do that? Let's deal with this. So the reset button, let's let's attach an event to this, and we will sorry, a function to this, and we will call it reset filters, right? Let's come back to our logic.js, and we can do this right after the handle persist. Let me add few comments. Updating the time filters in UI according to the filters stored in local storage. And the same comment will do for punctuation and numbers. Updating the punctuation filter. Okay. Updating the numbers filter. I'm gonna add some spacing here, and I think this is good. Selecting all filters components from UI. It is working fine. I have two viewers. Nice. Okay, let's test it again. And sorry, we need to test the reload button, right? And reset. We have not even wrote the function yet. So let's write it here. And the comment should be resets the filter to the initial state, which would be time 30-second, everything else false, right? And reset. Okay, so we just need to actually set the filters to be this object. Sorry, not const. Just need to update it, and we can say filters dot time would be 30 seconds, and punctuation will be false, and numbers will be false. So what now? Now we need to run this function. Handle filter persist. Okay. And we will run this function, and this function will take care of adding the current filters to the local storage and updating the UI. And let's see, we add few functions, sorry, filters, we reload it, it's persisting, and then we reset it. I think it didn't work, there must be some. Okay, I misspelled it. Reset filters and reset filters. Let's reset filters is not defined. Okay, it is defined. Okay, it worked. Lol, but the time did not get updated. I should have set the time 30 seconds here. Let's see why it's not working. And I'm gonna console the filters object right here. And let's reset. Inside filter persists. Again, I'm gonna reload. Reset. Okay, so we need to actually update the local storage ourselves, and that would be setting the local storage dot set item and filters to be, and we will just make it a new object, name it reset filters, and we will update the local storage, this new object we created. Let's see now, set item on storage. Lol. Okay, let's reset it. It didn't work. Okay, punctuation and numbers, reset. This is weird, it only removed the. Okay, let's do punctuation numbers and let's click on reset now. And state is changed, but the UI is not updated. Let's see if this condition passes, that means punctuation is true. Okay, let's add punctuation and reset it. Okay, so it did not pass, but the UI is not updated. What's going on? So instead of toggle, let's do add. Okay, punctuation reset. Number reset. If punctuation is true, then add the class. If it is not true, then remove the class. Same thing here. Okay, now it's working. And let's do the same thing here. Let's see now. We make it 60 punctuation numbers, reset it. Perfect. And let's look if our state is correct. Yep. Let's do more. What? Punctuation numbers true. Reset. Punctuation numbers true. 60-second. Reset. Okay, now it's working. And so this is updated, right? And one thing, if you notice, that the function that renders the words is not using the our state at all. So to do that, we need to go into that function, update words. My bad. We run the function here, right? So we just need to handle the deletion and handle the filter state, adding and removing from local storage before we add the words. So no, I was wrong, it did not work. Okay, let's go to the update words function, and here, so cannot update words, actually make sentences, right? That's where we are generating those words. And here it is, that function. If punctuation is true, okay, let's log punctuation here and reset it. If punctuation is true, make sentence, update words. Okay, so we pass in the, okay, we actually need to pass in the punctuation and number attributes. We can do that right here inside our event listener. Here we can say, using the destructuring syntax, we can say punctuation and numbers, and our object filters, we will pass it punctuation and numbers. Let's see if it works. Punctuation numbers. Let's reload. It didn't work. Let's log punctuation and numbers here. Okay, they're both false. Okay, 622. So they're both false. Why are they false? We are updating our state here. Let's reset and reload. Look at our state, right? Filter false, false. We set the filters and update our state too. Let's look at the filters object. Okay, it is true now. But we actually want this like on page load. So let's page load. And our state was true in fact, but it didn't work here. Let's log our state on page load. Sorry, not state, our filters object. And it is false for some reason. On initial page load, it is false. Not initial actually, we have already set the filters. How can we fix this? So here we are checking if there is a filters object, right? There is a filters object and we update our filters. Okay, let's try again. So we are updating our filters object before we run our update words function, but it's still not working. If you can see, this is from, let me comment. Let's say event listener. So this is inside event listener. And okay, it makes sense that it is false, right? Because it is before this log is before updating our state. So let's check now. Okay, it is true now. But our punctuation and numbers are still false for some reason. This is weird as our state is true in fact. But update words says that it is false. Okay, let's go inside our update words. Wait a second, this false false is from 661. Maybe we are using this syntax wrong. Let's look up the destructuring syntax. And let A be rest, A be okay, and for object it is, we need this for object. And it is correct actually. Okay. Oh god. We needed to assign these after updating the state. That was very stupid. I mean, it was not really stupid, just a tricky thing, and it's working now, right? and it is working now. We change the filters, reload it, change the filter, reload, and change the filter, reload, reset. Okay, so reset did not update the UI. Let me look what is reset doing. So reset sets numbers to false, and then we handle our filter persists, right? But it did not re-render the UI because we did not re-render it actually. So we can do that right here. And we can pass filters dot punctuation. Sorry, we just need to pass false for punctuation and true for numbers. And now if I set numbers reset, it works. Numbers reset, it works. Punctuation reset, it works. Okay, everything works now. And third thing that I want to add is, well, initially the plan was to add a theme switcher right alongside this GitHub icon, but I also want to add a button here. Well, you can say I'm pretty much copying the monkey type, but that is okay. And let's do that. We need a button here, and I found this really good site called svgrepo.com. You can come here and get a icon like reload, and okay, we can copy it, right? And the good thing about it is that you can change the colors and stuff, make icon big or smaller, and you can get the svg instead of downloading it. You can directly place it inside your html file, which is good if you have a theme switcher functionality. You can change the fill property of the svg and update it, basically the color of the svg. And I'm gonna edit it and copy it, right? After copying it, let's come to our html, and after the words container, like this is results container, I'm gonna collapse it and add it here, right? And I'm gonna set fill to be, okay, let's see how it looks. Okay, I'm gonna set fill to be text white. What happened here? I think we need to add the stroke actually, not the fill. Okay, it did not work either. What is going on? Okay, I think I messed it up. Okay, let's copy it again. Hit copy and get it again. Okay, let's fill it with text white and give it a class of width 50 pixels. Okay, something is wrong here. Path T. Let's change the fill property and stroke property. I have no clue what's going on here. Okay, let's grab another icon. Maybe it has something to do with this particular icon. And let's go back. Okay, let's get this one. I hope this one works. Let's add a width, sorry, class. Okay, I want to look at the width property of tailwind again because I forgot the width properties. I keep using custom width. Let's see if they already have a class for 50 pixels width, and they have for a 42 pixels, which is W12 and which is 3 RAMs. So every one unit in width in tailwind is actually 0.25 RAM, which is one of a RAM, 12 pixels, and one RAM is 12 pixel, I believe. And one RAM is 16 pixels. So it's 4 times 4. Well, makes sense. 4 times 4. Let's see. Width 12. Okay, there we have it. Let's add a fill. White. Did not work. Let's try it here. Hit icon and let's change the color. We okay. I have no clue what is going on here. I'm not very good with SVGs. In fact, I don't know anything about them. Let's try to edit them before we import them. And we can't change the color actually. Okay. Okay, so I have no clue why there are two colors here, but we needed this one basically. And if we make it 000 000 white, wait, it's not working now. Let's reload. We make it. Let's change it a little. Yep. Okay, I'm gonna copy it and paste it here. Okay, this was the okay. We needed to change the fill on the actual path inside the SVG. Okay, let's do that. We can name it. Sorry, we can't name it. We will just say text white, and hopefully it will work this time. And let's add a class of it 12. Okay, it works. Let's make it a little smaller. Okay, it's not working. Width 8, 10. Okay, 10 is fine. And I have minimum height set on this step. Let's remove that as well. I'm gonna make it 0 for now. And now we have it. And let's add a margin bottom. Margin bottom, or let's add of 3 rams, and 3 times 4 times 3 is 12. Okay, now we have it. And our fill did not work of text white actually. Okay, I've been adding the wrong class here. Sorry, the wrong class here. Oh no, I was adding a class where I needed to add a color. Let's look the fill property of SVG. And this was the fill that we needed. Wow. Say fill white. It didn't work either. And I wonder why is that. Let's choose a different color. Sorry, I'm again adding it on a class. We need to add a class of fill white. Will it work? Yes, it did. And let's. I want to decrease the size a little bit. Right here. Okay, this is better. And let's change the color on hover. So hover, sorry, hover fill primary or secondary. Okay, so it doesn't work. I think we can't hover on our class. It's not added for some reason. Okay, it is added now, but it's still not working. I think we can't hover on the path element. We can only hover on like what is going on now. Okay, on hover fill secondary. Okay, I think I'm using the wrong syntax for hover too. Let's see. It is correct. No, change hover state of fill of path. Can definitely manipulate, but we have to hover on SVG. Let's try this on path in itself, and it doesn't work. Okay, it works on path too, right? So what is it that I'm doing wrong? Maybe add the width to the path. Okay, let's look at tailwind. How can we manipulate another class when hovered on some other element? Right? There must be some way to do that. Yep, this is what we need. The custom selector. We can do that by adding an and symbol in front of it. Okay, so when SVG is hovered, right? When SVG is hovered, SVG is hovered, make the path. Okay, definitely did not work. This might not be what we need. Let's look at the basics, and I think I'll just make my own class for this inside our components, and we can say SVG hover, make the path, fill with text secondary. Okay, should work. I broke something. Let's look at the console. It's fine. Still not working. Yes, see, hover it should increase on hover. Okay, it is working. And we need to add class here. Let's say hover, svg hover, right? Something like this. svg hover, change the field path of the view. Did not work. This would be a very simple thing in plain CSS, but in Tailwind, I have no clue. So this is what we need styling based on parent state, right? So when you need to style an element based on the state of some parent element, mark the parent with a group class. Use the group modifiers like group power to style a target element. Okay, let's look at it. So we will mark the group as or SVG as group, and then we use group hover on the. Okay, now if we use the group hover on our child element, it should work, and it is working finally. So this was what we needed to do, and let's decrease the size. Size should be width 6. Okay, this is better. And let's add a transition to the path element. So it doesn't look very fast. Transition on. Okay, okay, it's working. Let's Let's set duration to be 500. Okay, it is working. Let's make it 250. Mm. And let's style the button a little bit. And for the button, we can say on hover, sorry, on hover, the background should be white, and padding on the button will be 1 RAM. Okay, we need to style the SVG on the path based on the state of the button. And now it works. Let's add a transition to transition. And for the button, let's look at the padding classes. And for left and right, we can use px, and for top and bottom, we can use py. So py should be half of a RAM, and which is 8 pixels, and left and right will be 16 pixels, which is 1 RAM. Okay, let's make top and bottom 3 actually, and right and left, let's make it 6, and make it rounded medium. Okay. Small is 2 pixels, we need 6 pixels around. Let's make it small actually. This is too small. I'm gonna make it. Let's try medium again. I am not sure. Let's make it a custom value, right? 4 pixels. I like it better, and I'm gonna change the secondary color to be okay. See now, the button is not like visible. It's not visible. Let's use a different one maybe. A little bolder. And this is definitely a little bolder. Edit it. Be the switching. And okay. I only want to change the values in between. Scrap G. We need these classes, right? But it depends. Let's remove the other one. It's not. Sorry for the pause there. And okay, we have our SVG. Let's make it work. Okay. Previous one is also there for some reason. And okay, let's add the classes. We definitely need a width class to make it bigger. Apparently, the I have two SVGs here. Oh, okay. So this was a problem. Okay, this is weird. Okay, it is bigger now. And let's add those classes now. Think our width class won't work. Maybe it will, I guess, if we make it 100%. Okay, this is such a drag, this SVG thing. I'm just gonna move back to the previous one. At least it works, even though it's small. Okay, it works. Good than enough. Sorry, not good than enough, more than enough. Very nice. And for the button, let's make it gray. So it's not that bright. Oh, it's not working. And group power little secondary. Hmm. Let's make it black on over. This is definitely better. Okay, this is looking better than 4 now. This button should also trigger the reset filters. Okay, it should only restart the test. So let's add an on click and say restart test. And the restart test needs to do is change the time by back to 0 and clear the interval that we created, right? Okay, let's try it. For now I'm just gonna set update the filters, right? And to do that, actually no, we don't need to update the. Let's see. Let's do filters dot time will be actually not. We don't need to touch the filters actually. We just need to clear the interval. Our We need to stop the timer. Let's see where we are starting the timer in the first place, and that is on key down in our basically when the user types, and if it is a valid input, we start the timer, right? So here it is start countdown, right? And we can do this. We can update state to timer running to false or timer finished to false and check for it here, or state dot timer finished is equal to false. Okay, not or pipes. So if state dot timer finished is false, then stop the timer and clear the interval, right? Okay, state dot timer finished should be true. Not it should be true. Then we will a reset filter will just do that. So not reset filters. Restart test. Let's do it. State dot timer finished will be true. And let's see. So we start typing. The timer starts, and we click restart, and the time finished. But this is not what actually we want to do, right? We want to. We don't want to display the results, right? And to let's see where we are actually displaying our these divs. Let's see where we are doing that, and that's inside the display UI, right? And we need to tell display UI somehow that we don't want to display results, right? And we can do that by actually First of all, first we clear the interval, and once the interval is clear, then we display UI, right? Okay, let's add in another conditional here, and it will say if state.timer finished is equal to true, then display UI, and we will pass an argument to the display UI that will be true if we want to display our results, and if false, we'll name it show results, and we will pass it false, and here we will pass it true. Then inside show results we will check if show results is not true, then we will only reset the timer, and that will be okay. And that to do that we need to actually select the timer, document dot query selector, its id time container, I believe, time container, and we'll say inner text will be whatever filters dot time is, and return. So the flow of the program now is when the user clicks on this button, it will run the function restart test. Restart test will update the state property timer finished to true, and our interval that is running and the timer that will see that the state timer finished is true now. So that means I have to cancel the that means I have to clear the interval, right, and return from this function. We return it. That means I have to clear the interval and display the UI. And when we execute display the UI function, we are passing it show results false. And inside display UI we check if show results is false. That means we cancel the test in between when the timer was running, right? So we will just reset the time and return. Let's try this. And if I click here, okay, we need to update the UI as well, the words too, and we can do that inside here too. In this condition, update words, and pass it filters dot punctuation and filters dot number. Let's try again. Let's restart the test, and update words didn't work. Let's try again. Let's look at the console. Oh man, we need to update the cursor as well. Okay, it works. Okay, now our other program has cs. What is going on here? Actually, after we clear the interval, we need to set state dot timer finish to false again. Otherwise, it will keep thinking the timer is finished. And let's try again. Okay, it works, but there are still some issues. I think I okay. Let's try again. Okay, so I think what's happening is that our focus moves to the when we press tab, the focus moves to the next button and it stops working, right? Okay, let's look up blur property, blur method in JavaScript, blur JavaScript. So basically, what it does, it removes keyboard focus from the current element. But we actually want to, okay, let's see what the function does. Okay, we need to do the text field dot focus first. Let's search up text field focus function. Does it work on normal divs? Okay, let's try it. So what we need to do after we click one of the filters, we want to move the focus to the this words div. For now, let's just do it on this reset filters. Here we have reset filters and document dot deselector dot words container and dot focus. Let's see. Okay, the focus did not change. like tab, I press space. It's not working. And now I press tab and space. The focus did not move to the. Okay, we need to actually remove the focus from current button. And to do that, we need to pass in the event. We only need the target, so we will just use the destructuring syntax and we need to pass in the event here too. Let's try again. So we do how tab space focus moved, and now that we have focus inside our words container, we want to change the key down function that we have on body actually, and we will search for that and let's move it to document.pd selector and our words container. And now on key down, when this div is in focus, let's write the comment. When words div is in focus, listen to the key down events. And now we need to do the same thing, the focus thing, for let's make another function. There's a lot of functions, but I think it is good because I'm going to restructure this code. So when we do that, we can just reuse the functions, I guess. So it's less work then. Function focus typer, right? Words, or maybe focus words div. And let's get our words container. We can just do this. Document dot words container dot focus. And then we can pass it the this attribute. And or okay, let's forget this. Let's just do this. Can we check what HTML element is in focus? So the document.active element. Okay, let's try this actually. And I'm gonna actually focus on one of these buttons. Okay, let's do it. And document.active element. Okay, let's update the focus to be the next button. And okay, so this is perfect. So in our focus words div, we will get document.active element and blur it. So remove the focus and focus on our words container. Remove the focus from whatever element is currently focused and focus on the words container. Words div. This will work. And we can remove this. We don't need the target either. And we can remove it from where it is. Here. Okay, let's try. Now we need to remove the focus when one of these filters are clicked and we click on restart. Let's run this function after restart or when one of the filters is clicked, and that will be right here on add filter and time filter. Let's try it. So we right now the active element is body. Okay, now I'm going to focus on punctuation, enable it and check the focus. Focus is body again for some reason, which is weird. Let's look at a function. Okay, so it's setting focus to our body instead of the words container. Maybe I have the wrong class. The class is correct. What could be the issue here? Okay, so the focus function is not working, the focus method, which is weird. Hmm, okay, it's gonna go on. I'm gonna log it. Okay, let's store it inside a variable and log the word div. Oh, damn it, it's not working. So it keeps setting the focus to the body instead of the container that I want to set on. Okay, let's search to focus sets focus on body. document selector. Okay, so focus doesn't work for our div. How to focus on a div JavaScript? Okay, we need to assign a tab index 0. So tab index 0 gives this div the lowest priority to be focused. Let's add it and see if it does anything. Okay, it works finally. I But in order to focus, I need to click on it. So what do we do? So when user passes a valid key, we focus on this div. Let's do that. Okay, let's test restart button and stuff like that. So I press 60 and cannot reach properties of null. So I think this will fix it. Okay, perfect. Let's start this test and then we move to tab and press space. Okay, it works. Now we need to, okay, let me explain. So let me come to my key down function, and inside of a key down function, we want to check if it's a valid key, right? So whatever the user types is a valid key. And let's make a function for that because I'm using the same code at two different places. Okay, restart the test and click on the restart button in the UI. Okay, now I'm gonna add a function. First I will add a comment for it. The comment should be function to check if user pressed a valid key to type. So it explains avoid keys like control, shift, etc. Is valid key. Okay, I will say is valid typing key, and we will check. We need to pass event attribute, and if event key dot includes event dot key, that means it is an invalid key. So for that we will is valid key, so we will pass false, and else we will return true. Sorry. So if the key exists in the invalid keys, that means it is not a valid key. Okay, perfect. Let's grab this, and inside our user types function, let's change it to use valid key and pass in event and change it to not, and remove this, get the same condition and place it here inside our key down event. And where is that? Okay, inside our key down event on document key down event, if user passed a valid key, then we want to focus on the div. We will run update, sorry, focus words div, and we will run user types function. Let's see, if I type tab, nothing happens, shift, nothing. Okay, it started for some reason. Okay, let's try again. So tab, shift, try again. Caps lock starts it. Okay, it works. It still works for any of the keys. Okay. Actually, I need to return it. Okay, let's try again. So I press tab. Okay, it's still working. So let's try what does is valid typing key returns. Let's type tab. It returns false. So this function shouldn't have run. Okay, it's because I'm okay. It will work now. And let's move it here. Now if I type tab, it doesn't work. Caps lock doesn't work. Shift doesn't work. Control Alt, so it won't work unless we type T. Okay, it still didn't work. Mm, what is going on here? Okay, so the logic is inverted for some reason in our program. Let's check that. Why is that happening? Change. Okay, let's make it that like this. So if user does not type a valid key, we return the function, return from the function. And if they do, we okay, let's attach a key down event on our document dot query selector dot words container dot on click, and there is no syntax error. So types is not defined. Lol. Sorry, one key down actually. And let's make it dot add event listener, and we will add a event listener of key down and run the function user types, and is deprecated. Let's see. Okay, let's go. So I'm doing something wrong here. Okay, let's delete this and let's do this instead. Visual typing event. If it's an valid typing, then run the user types event. Okay, let's see if the filters work now. If I enable a filter, it should focus to. Okay, it works. Let's try numbers. It is working properly, and now let's remove the outline that our div gets on focus. Let's say outline none. Yep, it works. I think this is okay. Okay, this is working perfectly fine now. And I think we can go ahead and add theme switcher now. Or maybe we can do that tomorrow, but for now, I do want to do some work like related to CSS variables that will make things easier tomorrow when we do the theme switcher. And I'm already seeing that some parts of my code I have actually no clue why I have a certain conditioner, and that is not good at all. So I should really restructure the code sometime, well, not sometime, before I publish the tool basically, or consider this tool finished. In order to consider this tool finished, I have to do restructuring of the code, otherwise there is no point in it, right? Because I won't be able to add new features. Okay, this is bad. So I noticed another problem. Like if I do this 30 seconds, the div is focused, but that key is registered, right? And we don't want that to happen. We don't want this space key to be included as part of the test. And I think we can just check for invalid key right inside our function and that will fix it. Let's try. Okay, didn't fix it. So space is apparently considered as an invalid key, a valid key. So how do we fix this? Okay, let's see. So inside our key down event, instead of typing, just to focus word stay, right? And the focus is on the word. Then do something like this. Document.getInspector. Okay, the reset is not working for some reason. Let's look at that. So reset is not working. And here we are inside our reset function, which is right now here focus words do, right? And reset is supposed to actually filter. Wait, it is working now. This is weird. On every reload, the functionality changes. Okay, so basically when we do, so we have event listener of mouse down, basically mouse click on our filters, and then we have a key down event on our document, right? And that doesn't work simply because the key down event takes over the click event basically. Okay, I'm gonna disable it for 1 second. Okay, now it works. So what we have to do, I think key down, on key down, I think we need to explicitly tell our buttons to work on key down as well, right? Let's do that. Time filter and okay, let's see if it works now. Now it's low. I think we need to use the focus on focus, I believe. How to check for how to check if button was pressed with space JavaScript. So So I know a little about bubbling phase of the what is it called? DOM. I know something related to bubbling. Let's search bubbling JavaScript, bubbling and capturing. So let's start with an example. The handle is assigned today, but also runs if you click any nested tag like element or code. So the bubbling principle is simple. When an event happens, it first runs the handles on it, then on its parents, then all the way up on the other ancestors. So let's say we have three nested elements, handle on each of them. P, div, form. Okay. And unclick an element on P. So the bubbling is that every event starts from the target to the document and gets triggered for every element, right? So the one thing I think, so we can check for event to target, and we can say if it is was body. Okay, let's look at this. In our key down event, right here, we will log the target element where event started. So now I'm going to press S. Okay, the 389. So the event started at words container, right? And now it started at 30 seconds button. So we can check if event dot because events capture at purple, we don't want this function to execute if clicked on any relevant buttons such as filters or restart button, right? Let's see. So if event.target.classList contains tool button or event.target.classList contains, what was the class on this button? Okay, we don't have any class, but I think we can use just a, okay, let's give it a class. Let's call it restart test, or let's make it camel case. So if it contains restart test or toolset pattern, then we return. And I messed up something. Okay. What did I do wrong here? Okay. Okay. It didn't work. Okay, let's console log again. And tab, and it didn't. So it's still executed. Let's say after conditional. Okay, so the conditional is working. Let me check the filters. This is weird. So the function that updates our UI, or basically our functions are not executing, right? The functions we attached here, these on key down. It could be the reason. Oh, so we can say on click event dot stop propagation. It will prevent the event from propagating. Okay, let's look at. Let's look at capturing. This way, so to really is it? So this can am I doing wrong? Time is passing and I have no clue. So I have attached on click event. So the document dot on key down basically takes over the okay. Let's remove this for now on key downs. Mm, okay. So I focus on 30 seconds. I press tab and I move to the what is going on. Have to make it work, make it work. So what is going on? Let's hmm, what is the flow of our program? So if I come here, I press tab, it moves to the next one. So which is very weird. Function 685. So the focus already is executing because let's go to 397. Here we have it. And so it's not even focusing on this for some reasons. Okay. So it's because when we click on the 30-second, we move the focus to the div, and that is how it should work. There are no errors here actually. Let's see. So my space. So it's working fine now. Let's try again. Situation on. Okay, it seems to be working fine. And let's see. Now I want to make some CSS variables. Uh, One of them would be so one for the errors. If I press the wrong key, one for the errors, and okay, let's write it down in the tailor CSS. Here inside, let's add one called error, and it would be red be text red 500 maybe. I don't think I can add like colors here, so let's make it full red, everything normal. And inside our code, where we add, where we check for the wrong or right character, we add a, okay, we need to change the class. Wait, no, we're just adding the class there, text secondary and wrong. So let's come here and change the wrong. Okay, we don't know, need this SVG thing, and apply. Sorry, apply text error. See what happens. It is not working for some reason. Okay, I think because I have the text, I'll just add a important tag to it. How to use important tailwind. So the important option, we can add that by so we can make a class important by adding an exclamation mark in front of it, right, like this. Yep. This is weird. Okay, it works now. And let's make it a little lighter, right? And we can do that by coming here, setting the F to something like 1. It did not work. Just gonna go on. It's still full for some reason. Okay. Ah, whatever. So let's see. One error that I spotted is right now, if I type something like y, it doesn't work, right? Because my div is not in focus, so I have to do another y. We can do that by coming here inside our logic.js. And right here where we on the initial page load, we will focus the words div, right? And now if I type, it will work. I reload, I can start typing immediately. Let's see what else can we do. Let's see how can we use CSS variables. Okay, we can use them like this inside our layer base. Okay, let's come here and layer base. Okay, so the color primary is the color primary. Let's come into our tailwind config and let's put that. Okay, but we need the RGB value. And my body has BG primary, so let's get the background color of body. It's RGB 50, 52, 25. Let's set it here. And secondary color is yellow basically. Well, at least for now it's yellow. And we can do that by picking it up from this. And now I'm gonna add a color bright. Which will be red, green, and blue of white basically. And let's add a color dark, which will be 0, 0, 0 with a black, and a color error. Color error. This is gonna be red, so it will be full red and everything else 0. Now we need to add these colors actually in our tailwind config too. Let's see how do we do that. Close all these tabs and okay, we can do that like this way. Okay, let's add this in our theme property. Let's add them before the keyframes, and we won't be extending them. And aside from primary, we have secondary, then we have bright. Okay, let's copy it down. We have bright, dark, and error. Let's make it bright, dark, and error. Hope this is correct. Color error. This works. Let's try these. We will change the body background of the body. Let's make it PG primary. It's the same thing. Let's disable these, right? But it did not work. It's still working, and we can see if it is correct by changing the value. Let's change it to red. Okay, it works. And now okay, let's change it back. Now in index, I'm going to change the color of the body to PG. I'm going to test all of them. So let's do secondary. It works. Now let's do bright. Bright. It works. Let's do dark. Works. Now let's do error. And it works. Now I want to see how do we add opacity in our color. See here. Let's search for opacity. Changing the opacity. We can do that by, okay, divide by a slash and then the opacity. Let's do it. Let's make it error and then 50. Okay, it did work, I believe so. Let's make it 100. Let's make it 10. Okay, it definitely works, so this is good. And now the real test is I want to see if I change the, let's see. Let's see, we have primary. I think this will work. Let's change it to red. Okay, it didn't work. While it should have worked. Okay, I set to red. I need to give it a RGB value. Okay, it works. Now, how do we change the theme? Okay, so the theme is basically changing these CSS variables that we generated. And I'm not sure if I can do that right now. Okay. Want to make these transparent, footer and header. So let's remove bg primary, same from the header. Let's make it bg primary. And now let's change back to class 2. Okay, I don't just want to use just these colors. So I will extend my colors with these instead of overwriting all of the colors, right? And let's see if it works. Oh, okay, it does work. And let's see if other colors work. I will say beachy dot red. Okay, didn't work. Let's see tailwind. Okay, it's working properly. But okay, is my camera working? Yep, it is. So BG white, it is working. BG white. Let's. This is actually concerning. Let's make it PG slate. 500. Okay, it does work. So our other colors will work too. We are just extending them by adding new colors. And now to change the theme, what should we do? I can give you an example of changing the theme. Okay, one more thing. This icon, this logo, I want to change this to we have fill here, right? Where it is. So here it is our SVG, and I'm gonna fill it with fill secondary. Okay, fill secondary didn't not work for some reason, and fill white works. It doesn't. It should work. So here we have our fill. Let's look the fill class again. Setting fill the color, so we can use our colors like it's going on slate maybe. Oh, no, I'm doing the same thing again. So we need to add class node inside the fill secondary, and it will work. Now give you like a hint, or not like a hint, but preview on how theme changing will work. We will change these variables dynamically, right? And if I come here in my program and I change this color secondary, right? I change this to Mm, let me pick a color picker. Never mind. So right now, let's pick a color like maybe green. So you can see, or maybe yeah, something like this green, right? So you can actually see the change and come back to here our program. Color primary. Sorry, not color primary. Color secondary, right? And if you look now, our program is indeed changing the colors, which is, I believe, very cool. Now, a few things inside our user types. Uh, when we check if the letter is correct or wrong, I'm gonna remove these classes like text secondary and stuff. I'm just gonna add a right or wrong class, and inside our table in CSS, I'm gonna apply these by saying dot correct will have the color, will have the class text. What should be the class? Text secondary. Sorry, text bright. Should have the class text bright. So if I type something, let's see if it has a text bright class. It has correct class, and let's check correct, and it has a color bright. So that is great. And text error, this is good too. We need our error class on wrong. Then on here, if you see, I'm using text white, right? We need to replace this with text bright. And everywhere in our program where we are using text white or hyphen white, okay, inside JavaScript we are not using that, but in our HTML we are probably using that, right? So all of this will change to uh, sorry, bright, and our program hopefully works the same. For example, our time container, it has text bright now, and let's search for bright. It is using the variables we created, and our this box, the background, and this text, I want to change this to. I can find it. So tool button class we have here, tool button, and we're using text a custom value, right? Let's change it to text bright and set the opacity 50 and see how it looks. I think it looks pretty similar. Let's come back here and decrease the opacity even more, and maybe even more, maybe 10. Okay, that's too much. 20. 30 is fine actually. These are using our classes too now, and the background I want to change it to our text dark. So tool set have background zinc 900. Let's change it to background dark. You see how it looks? It's very dark. So let's change the opacity to 50. And increase it a bit, little more. Okay, let's make it 60 actually. And I think it looks similar to before, right? And this should have text bright too. Let's see. I think it already has that class. So class What is going on here? I did not even fill it. So it's filled with white, right? Let's change it and find our GitHub. Here it is. Let's remove it and say fill bright, and this icon on hover it turns black, right? So let's look for black. It is here and change it to dark. What's so let's take a preview at changing the theme, right? If I color primary, okay, let's come down and change our variables. Can't find it. So here are our variables, right? And our color primary, let's make it green, full green, right? So 0 to 55, 0. Okay, it didn't work. I think I have to give both zeros for some reason. This is weird. Why did it not work? I should have changed the body background color. So let's come to primary, background primary. Should work, it should work. It is not working. Even though I'm updating the variable. Let's look at the color secondary and change it to 0. And it is working. Let's make it green. It's green now. And now the dark color that we actually had, let's make it green as well, but a little more green, right? So I think if we add red to green, it will become dark green, I believe so. Okay, no, it is not becoming I think we have to add actually yellow to make it more. So if you're confused about this, these are just red, green, blue channels. And okay, you know what? Let's pick something from here. 04311. So I'm gonna change my color to 04311, and then let's change bright to another accent of green, like something here. Okay, so everything else changed, and only thing that's not working is background, which is very weird. Let's change it to another shade of green. Okay, so the only thing that is not working is changing the body. Let's look at that. Why is that the case? So our body has class background primary, Let's override it and say background red important. Doesn't work. What is going on here? The background of the body is not changing at all for some reason, even with the important flag. Okay, so our body color doesn't change at all. This is so weird. No clue what is going on. All of the other variables work well. Let's change it to color dark. Okay, it might be something related to this extension maybe, or cache. Let's change it right inside our HTML. Okay, now it works. And let's try again. Now let's change the color dark. Let's make it green. So it updated at places but did not update at the body. Okay, let's see if changing the class from body to if still works. Now it works. So changing the variable on the body did not work, but on the inner div works. I don't know why it happens like that. So yeah, I was telling you how we will update the theme. So this is how we will do it, right? We will dynamically update these variables. If I can find them, these one. For example, if we change the color primary to sorry 0 0 0, right, it will become dark, full black. If we change the color secondary to 0 to 55 0, it will become green. And dark, if we change the dark to actually full white, there we go. Our color change there, and then color error, we can change that as well. We can make it purple maybe. I don't know. Let's take a random color, right? Okay, so it's not working as well. And the reason is our class wrong is indeed using the color error. Okay, so you can see, well, that was a very bad explanation of how we will do things. But yeah, let's look at this tomorrow, and I'm gonna end the stream for today. See ya. Bye bye.